Alright, I'm back again with yet another UFO video or story. This is one of my own. This is kind of like an extension of my very first UFO video, just called My UFO Story. And this is probably the last time I ever saw the silver metallic discs. This is early to possibly mid 90s, but probably early mid 90s. I don't know exactly for sure, but I remember this being like the last time I saw these things. I used to see them a lot in I grew up in Ohio, specifically Medina County, Ohio, and I used to see these a lot growing up. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, possibly mid 90s as well. This story happened, though, after the black triangle that I saw. I think it happened after that. This was in the daytime. Me and my stepfather, we were cutting up like some small trees and bushes and stuff, getting rid of them in our yard, in our front yard, and we were going to and from a local dump that so we were driving down the road back and forth from the dump to our house, and that's what we were doing that day. And it was a bright sunny day. It was just partly cloudy. There was some clouds in the sky, and I remember, I don't know, it was the very first time part that it might have started the very first time we got on the road from the house to the dump. But I don't know, and I don't know if it was to or from the dump, but I looked out my window. I don't know how old exactly I was, but I definitely remember this very clearly. So I looked to the right, up in the sky, and there were not one, not two, but like multiple shiny silver metallic discs in the sky. And pretty far away, but I could see them really clearly. And they were all like hovering in the sky to my right. And I could see them moving in like this like downward, almost like downward zigzagging pattern. Like unlike any plane or helicopter or blimp or anything that you could possibly imagine man-made could do, especially back then. So they were doing like, there were several of them, like there may have been like 5 to 7, maybe something like that. I don't know if there was as many as 10. I don't think there were that many, but there were definitely more than like 3 or 4. I want to say like 5 to 7 of these things in the air, in the sky. They were the same. They looked exactly like the silver metallic disc that I saw when I was in grade school, on the playground in my first UFO story that I told on here. Looked exactly like that, and exactly like the others that I saw between then and this last time that I saw them. Um, because I've even seen these things over my house that I grew up to, that I grew up at too. I saw like two at a time in the sky before, but never more than that, never more than two at a time. And I could tell that story too. I remember there's that. I could tell that after the story because it probably wouldn't take that long. But okay, so these UFOs here, these disc-shaped UFOs, they were silver, bright, but not. It didn't look like they had lights on them. You could see their shadows under the ship, under the craft. So you could see like a very dark part is like their shadow, the shadow of the craft, of the underneath part of it, I guess. And the rest of it's like metallic. It's silvery, shiny metal. I'm trying to think here. Look just like a hockey puck. They're shaped just like a hockey puck. That's like more like a hockey puck than a frisbee. That's about the same thing though, I guess, right? Like like hockey puck shaped. I said football shaped in my first video, and it was kind of like that. But they're either like kind of like a football shape or like a hockey puck shape. Hockey puck, frisbee, like shape. But a frisbee is like flat, so that's why I say hockey puck, because you could see the body of the craft really well. Like it wasn't just some flat pancake, thing. It was more of like hockey puck shaped. Would that be like cylinder then? But so yeah, didn't look like they had any lights to them, but they were real shiny because the sun was reflecting off of them. So it was real shiny metal. You could see that really well. You could see the dark shadow really well. I don't remember seeing any windows. I wish I could remember. And I was looking at them, like I was trying to look at them in as much detail as I could, both the one from my first story and the one in this current story. Like I really tried to examine those things like really really closely, and with as as much I spent as much time as I possibly could doing that, because I guess in my mind I thought I'm probably never going to see these again, or like very seldom, which is true. So I just wanted to, you know, examine them as much as I could before, they either left or I couldn't see them anymore for whatever reason. Because in this case we were driving, and so I kept my eyes on them for as long as I could. And in the playground, of course, we had to go in at some point. We couldn't just stay out there. But anyway, so what they were doing when we were driving by, my stepfather couldn't look at them because he was driving. I told him about them though. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of UFOs. And he's like, oh yeah. So, but I was just staring at them in amazement, and they were going like this. I think they were going like this, and this like down like this, like slightly down like that, and like a slight bending, zigzagging pattern. Oh, I think not really bending. I think they were doing like sharp, like it was like that. It is, obviously, like a plane. I don't think a plane can do that. And Then I think they were elevating back up and going like that. Like, oh my God. And then some of them looked, I think most of them were moving, but some of them were kind of stationary for a while others would move. And it was crazy. But that was the last time I think I saw the silver discs. Um, so I think they were still there after like our first trip to and from the dump site back home. I think I saw them a couple times. Um, every time we were on the road, they might have still been up there the whole time. We were we were working on that, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Um, so the other story I wanted to tell is just related to this. It's just another separate incident that I happened to see these discs. I was at my home in the backyard, and I got to looking up at the sky. I think this was like shortly after my first UFO story, like really shortly after. Um, and these looked exactly the same as the ones that I've been seeing that I saw in my first story, and the story I'm telling now. This one, there were two craft, and there were two of these silver discs in the sky. Um, I remember this. So there were two of them, partly cloudy, sunny day. Um, they would stay stationary in the sky for a while. They would stay there for quite a while, which is really weird to me. Like, like they're just like monitoring me or watching me or something. I don't know. Like, why would they just be like stationary like that? And like it didn't look like they were moving, and then they would like slightly start drifting, like kind of like a faster than a blimp would go. I think though. Um, so they would like they would just like because there's no sound to these. Um, there's no like exhaust or anything that comes out of them because I watched them very closely because they were just in the backyard there. I just got done seeing that one at school, so I'm really thinking that this was really shortly, like maybe even a few days after the first time I saw one. But anyway, but yeah, there were two of them, and then I remember the second one would come into view, and I saw there were two, and um, I remember like one would start moving, and then the other one would be stationary, and then the other one would like try to almost like follow the first one, I guess. Um, they looked exactly the same. Like there was no difference between the two of them. Um, they moved exactly the same. They had the same maneuvers and they did the same things. They would stay stationary for a while and then they would start moving. They would just start moving. Um, I don't know if these two did patterns or not, but they would move sometimes really weird too. I remember like sometimes they would be like, let me think here. Um, like when they were standing still and like getting ready to move, it was really weird. Um, I remember them looking really like the way they moved was really weird. Like before they like took off more and drifted more. I'm just trying to remember exactly how to explain this. Um, it was just it's just weird. Like they were like it would just like hover a little bit. Like I don't know if it was back and forth or not, like something like that. But they would be like, I don't know. They would just move really weird. Like they would be like that, like going like this or something. Like, and then they would start, and then they would start moving, and eventually they started moving faster, and then out of sight. But they both did the same things. Um, like one would be moving, the other one would be still. I think it's just weird. It's so strange. Um, but yeah, I thought I'd tell these stories too. That nobody else saw them at that part at that um, well that I know of in the backyard story. Nobody else was there but me. I was alone then. But I'm sure other people probably caught a glimpse of these. Um, Either one of these stories that I told here just now. Um, but yeah, I mean that those are my other personal sightings for these silver metallic disc shaped UFOs or hockey pucks. Let me know if you've seen these too. I can't possibly. Well, I know I'm not the only one, but like I know there's a lot of you out there that have seen these. Early to mid 90's, late 80's, silver metallic disc shaped craft, like drifting around the sky and then remaining stationary, doing weird patterns, like zigzagging across the sky really fast. The ones that I saw, the ones with the multiple ones where we were on the road, they were going. When they were moving pretty fast at times. I remember, as I could see them, going like this, and then they'd go up too. And then some of them were like stationary or just like slowly moving too. It was so strange how they could do that. But yeah, this is my latest video. I didn't personally see any more UFO craft, but my family, family members, have seen UFOs too. I just got done telling the Litchfield, Ohio story my great grandmother experienced, and my parents experienced. I got done telling that one, the Island of Crete one, and I thought like after this video that I would do like a deep dive into like Ohio UFOs from like maybe the 70's, 80's. Like just do a deep dive. I'm trying to find any kind of stories on any of these sightings, at least that I saw, or the one that my great grandmother saw. I'm trying to find like the news stories on them. I don't know if there were any news stories on the ones that I saw. I'm not sure. Multiple people did see the one in my first story. Teachers and kids. And we all saw that one. Crazy. But I will wrap this up, and we'll be back with more of these videos shortly. And thanks for watching.